Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rika and this is Rika Life. Thank you so much for joining me on my adventures in yarn and crochet. Today, as always, I have lots to share with you. Before we get started, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so today we are doing a little whip and yarn chat. So I'm going to be working on a project and you can work on a project and we'll have a little chat together. Before I get to that, I have been requested to make some more hats for cancer patients, so I started. I have already made, I think, 6 hats. So this is what I started with, which I shared in my last video. So this is burlap fluffy yarn. This is the hat I made. I think it's called the Speedy Beanie, and it's on YouTube. So this was my first time using this yarn. It's very, very soft, but it's a little bit on the thin side. But it is very soft. I have only made this hat with it so far, so I don't have that much experience with it. And I think I used an L8mm hook with it. So that's that one. And then once that was made, I came into my yarn closet. I didn't go inside. I can't go inside. It's a linen closet. I opened my yarn closet and I was looking at what I could use to make hats. So I don't have a lot of bulky yarn right now. I have mostly worsted weight, but then I saw my blanket yarn scraps and I thought, let's just use this. So let me show you where that started. I think it started with, which one is the giant one? I don't even remember now. I think it might have started with this one, which is, as you can see, very wide. But it does fit. It does fit. So yeah, I went through a few different iterations before I finally figured out what to do. So there was that hat, there was this hat. So this is just using scraps of burlap blanket yarn. There's this hat, this one. I think by this point I finally realized that I started with an L8mm hook and that made it too tight. Then I went up to an N10mm hook. It was still too tight. So I went up to a P11.5mm hook and then it was better. So this was done with like an N hook and this one is actually a little snug on me. It looks really good. I like the shape of it and you can see the colors kind of are pooling or whatever. But this one didn't fit as good. So that's why I had to really like play with the hook size. I already had the pattern written down. I was following a pattern that I wrote for the Line brand Cover Story Dreamland yarn. So I was following that, but I don't think I had written down the hook size. But I feel like for that yarn, I probably did use an N10mm hook, and I think that worked out fine. But burlap blanket yarn just needed a bigger hook size. So many hats already made. How many is that? I thought I had another one. Oh yeah, I had the purple one too. But yeah, these are all the burlap blanket yarn ones. So I've already made 6 hats and now I have just 2 colors left. So I have a pink. I have 2 shades of pink. So I have a very light rose, like dusty rose pink. And then I have a like magenta pink. And I was thinking, why not just use up these scraps and make, you know, these hats, because they'll be really nice soft hats and the cancer patients will get to wear them. So that is what I have been doing. All right, let me show you my whip now and then we'll get started on working on my whip. This is I think I finished 3 star blankets. So I finished yellow, pink, green. Yeah, I finished 3 and I think I started 6. So then I have this color, which is called light pink. This is Mandala Gradient Yarn by Line brand in the color light pink. So that's what it looks like. And I have this color and then I have, and then I'm doing it in red and then I'm also doing it in purple. So technically I have three done and 3 to go. These were kind of my in-between projects that I just started. Sometimes I'll start a bunch of shawls, sometimes I'll start a bunch of blankets, and then I'll just basically try to work on them when I have time, and then, just finish them whenever. There's no deadline really for them. So this is the, what's it called? Light pink. This is light pink. So that's the star-shaped blanket. You can see that. There's lots of patterns on YouTube for star-shaped blankets. This is just one of them that I found. And you can see that stitch definition is so, so nice. So I just have this much left on this cake, and then I will be starting on the next cake. For some of these yarns, I did have 3 cakes, but at 2 cakes, I think it was a good size. 3 cakes was kind of getting too big. So I had to stop myself from adding on the 3rd cake, because then I was like, this is becoming huge. So I'm going to be using my Susan Bates K 6.5 millimeter hook. That is what it looks like. It's a green color and it has this nice ergonomic handle. Susan Bates hooks are my absolute favorite. They are just hands down. I can't say that I've tried everything. I've really only tried some no-name hooks and some boy hooks, which I didn't like. I love the way this hook is made. I love that it has this pointy thing here. I love that this whole part here is pointy and not smooth. I really like those angles on there, and it really helps me to pull the yarn through and not miss any, miss the yarn or skip any stitches or what have you. So now you can't even see it. Let me see if I can put this a bit lower. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, now you can see it. Okay. So yeah, so things are going to kind of get back on track now. I had family here with me for a month, and now everyone has gone home. So now just trying to get back into some sort of routine with, I had a lot of help while family was here. So now just trying to figure out how to manage things with the kids, with the house, etc. So just trying to get back into a groove right now. And that's kind of where my head's at right now. I just wanted to really make this video because I missed having these whip and yarn chat sessions. I know the last 5 or 6 videos on my channel were very, very short, and I honestly didn't have time to sit down and make a longer video. So my apologies for that, but now that things are kind of back to normal, I can resume my normal schedule. So what else? I have started making the hats. I'm still working on the star blankets in between, and I really do want to start a mandala project. I have a couple of them saved, and I had even kind of decided for a yarn on them, but I haven't started anything yet. Also, I actually took out all of my 2/8 yarn. I think it was number 2. It's red heart. It's a wrap rainbow. I have it in a few different colors. I had bought it when it was on clearance at Michael's for $5 a cake, and I thought that was a great deal, which it is a great deal, but that yarn is very, very thin. And I am not used to using such thin yarn. Of course, I have made mandalas with that thin yarn, but it really requires something special from me to then pick up that kind of yarn. 1 second. Okay, sorry. That's so much better. I felt like my screen was kind of blurry, so I just wanted to fix the lighting. I have not turned on my light. I don't even know if it's plugged in right now. Oh, it is plugged in. Woo! Yeah, then you're just going to see the reflection in my eyes. It's okay. It's okay. We don't need the light. Anyways, what was I saying? Okay, I lost my train of thought here. But yeah, so working on these star blankets, working on some hats for the cancer patients. And then I do really want to start a mandala. There's so many. There's so many, honestly. There's ones that are going on like as a crochet along. There's ones that are paid patterns. There's ones that I have saved from like the last 2 years. I don't think I made a mandala I'm trying to think if I've made a mandala in the last half of 2024. I don't think so. Honestly, I think October, November, December got really busy. And these past few months have also been very busy. So yeah, I'd say in the last 6 months, I have not made any mandalas at all. And I'm really kind of just wishing I could, because I love the rhythm of it. I don't know how to describe it. I love the challenge of sitting and reading the pattern. I don't sit and read the whole pattern. I just go step by step. So say I'm on round 15. I'll read what is round 15, and then I will work on the beginning of round 15. And when you're making something that is like a square blanket or a mandala type pattern, there are repeats. So you'll do the same instructions 8 times, 10 times, 12 times, 16 times. So something about learning that pattern and doing one repeat, and then, maybe looking at the instructions for another repeat. And then by the time you finish that round, you know how to do the pattern, and you know that round, and it flows. It's so beautiful. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm just it's so different than doing something mindless like this blanket that I'm doing now, which is just all double crochets. I do love this. I definitely love mindless projects. I love to have a good car project. I love to have something to work on when I'm watching TV, but working on those mandalas, just I love it. I just absolutely love it. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like I really get into this state of flow, and I just love seeing it being created. I have made mandalas with, this is all that's all Karen Simply Soft. This is what brand is it? I don't even know now. I don't remember, but this is also worsted weight yarn. And I have made mandalas with 2/8 yarn, 3 DK yarn. I mean, I've made quite a variety of mandalas since I started crocheting. So they are my favorite, and I feel like I've just gone so far away from them. I've been making toys, been making blankets, been making just other things, and I haven't had a chance or given myself that time to work on a mandala. So likely that will be the next thing that you see, is I'm going to start sharing with you which mandala pattern I'm working on. I have some mandala patterns saved from the last 5 years, which like some of them are discontinued. Some of them have been like taken off the internet. But I have them saved so I can access it. But I, of course, can't share those. But I love mandalas. If you've never made a mandala, it's so fun. I just love it. I love the process. I love following the repeats. I love the color changes, or just watching a yarn transform in color if you're just using one cake. So I've made mandalas in a variety of ways. As you can see here, in these two, I've used a lot of color. Like this one especially has a lot of color changes. This one I've only used white, yellow, and orange. And pink. Yeah, 4 colors. So this one was very, very deliberate in changing the colors. Of course, if you can tell, I've done a repeat, and I just followed that all the way along. So I just love like picking colors and figuring out what color to do on which round. Like I don't do a lot of planning beforehand. It's kind of like I just choose colors, and then I just go for it. And I'm like, okay, this is the color scheme, and okay, this is what the next round looks like. That's why I really, really appreciate I appreciate these patterns that the designers make, like for these complicated mandalas. They have like step-by-step photo tutorials, or whether they're using a video tutorial, and they show you everything. They show you what the next round will look like. They show you a couple rounds ahead what it will look like. So then you can plan in your mind. And sometimes I do write it down. I'll just write down, round 4 is this color, round 5 is this color, so that I don't get confused. And that's how it works. I love the process. Like, for me, I have designed a mandala before, but nothing complicated. Just a very simple mandala, which is up in my Ravelry store, which you can check out. Everything is linked down below. I don't know how people design mandalas. It's just mind-boggling to me. I guess they get into a groove and they understand the math, and it just works out. Like, they're beautiful. They're such beautiful, beautiful pieces and blankets and afghans out there. Like, I'm just amazed at the sheer creativity that people have. It's beautiful. It's really, really wonderful. And then to be able to take that pattern, choose your colors, put your twist on it, and then make it your own. Nothing better than that. I just love it. So I haven't talked about this in a long time, but one of the very first kind of more intricate projects that I ever worked on when I first started crocheting back in 2014 was Sophie's Universe. If you have not seen Sophie's Universe, please look it up. It is a gorgeous mandala blanket. And I have made it in a variety of sizes. So I have made smaller sizes, and then I have made with Karen Simply Soft the full size Afghan, which covered my queen size bed. Okay, with Karen Simply Soft. So with the 4-weight yarn, I made a queen size bed blanket, and later I donated that as part of a silent auction at my daughter's school, and that was just incredible to make. And I have made that pattern, I want to say, at least 3 or 4 times. And there's so many more patterns like that. There's so many designers that I love. If you have any interest in any of this at all, I have a couple of mandala videos on my channel. I think if you just search my name, Rika Life, and you type in mandala, you'll be able to see those videos. Or you can just go to my channel and look through my videos. There's some of my most popular videos. And in the description below those videos, I've given the links to the mandalas that I shared. So hopefully I'll be able to do another mandala video like that soon, but first I have to start making them. I haven't made any. So that is step 1. And oh my gosh, I would love to design something more intricate. I don't know if I have enough confidence to do it yet. I haven't sat down and played around with it in that way that I'm sure some designers do. Got my cold water. This water bottle that I have, it actually keeps my water cold. I took it out with me the other day and I filled it around 8:45, and I was still sipping on it till like 3 o'clock, and it was still cold. So it actually works. I know a lot of them say keeps cold for these many hours, keeps hot for these many hours, and it honestly doesn't, but this one does. This is just from Hobby Lobby that I picked up when I went one day. So yes, if you watched my last video, you will know that I placed 2 large yarn orders at Hirschner's. So my yarn ban is officially over. I didn't buy any yarn in January, February, and March. I did buy yarn on March 31st. So, and I bought enough yarn to last me for a while. So I don't see me buying anything unless it's needed for a specific project, a gift, an order. Or, you know, just I use this white color Karen Simply Soft to make my fidget hedgehogs. So say I want to make more of those and I'm running out of my white color, then I might just buy, you know, a ball or two of that. Sorry, my voice is getting, I'm not used to talking so much on the camera anymore. It's been like a couple of weeks, so my voice is not cooperating with me today. Yeah. So I am absolutely loving watching other people's yarn videos. I love watching Lisa over at Happy to Hook Creations. I'll link her down below. I love watching Rose at Rose Likes Crochet. She does her yarn yakking videos and she shares a whole bunch of things in there. I like watching Cinnamon Stitches, Jennifer over at Cinnamon Stitches. And then yesterday, Crystal's patterns came up from Bag O' Day Crochet. She came up in my feed and I was like, oh, she has a new shawl pattern or, you know, a revised shawl pattern. So it's just so nice to see that people are still very active with their crocheting and making their videos, and it's just alive and well, you know. Crocheting is so trendy right now, I feel. Okay, I'm gonna need, no, I won't need that. This is my little crochet pouch. This is the main one that I use, and it has a little fidget toy attached to it, which sometimes I just play around with. But my son likes to play with this part because it goes, oh, I can't even do it on camera. It becomes gold and then it becomes silver. So he likes to sit and play with that. I guess that's kind of like a fidget thing as well. Yes. So I really love watching other people's YouTube videos when I'm crocheting. That's what I always put on. Like I save it for when I'm crocheting so that I have a crochet buddy. And I will share more with you next week once I know I might be teaching a few kids how to crochet. So if that goes as planned, then I will be able to share some of that next week with you and how it went and what I did. I'm just, I'm planning to give them some scrap yarn, and I'm planning to pull out my H5mm hooks and just let them learn how to hold a yarn, learn how to work on their tension, do some chain stitches, and maybe teach them single crochet and how to make a little square. And it would be really nice to do this on a regular basis, so I'm hoping that I can meet them on a weekly basis and teach them a little bit every time. And then, you know, eventually they can have their own hook and all of that. But I'm just not sure if I should, you know, I should buy it and charge for it, or kind of let the parents buy it and work with whatever their own budget is, because, you know, I don't know. I don't know the level of interest. I don't know if they want to pay, you know, supplies fee up front. So I think I'll just let them use what I have. I have quite a bit of scrap yarn. Okay. I'm trying to find the end here and I found it, but it's like, it's tucked in here. Okay, wait, I got it. Okay, I got it. I thought it was like really tucked in there and I was going to be like, how do I get this out of here? Okay. So I'm attaching this from the outside of the cake because I want the color to continue. I did, when I think I first made the green color star blanket, and when I made that, I started from the center again. So it went light to dark and then light to dark again. But with the hot pink blanket that I made, it actually, I was like, no, it'll look nicer if the gradient continues. So it went light pink to hot pink, and then it continued hot pink, and then went back into light pink. So that's what I'm trying to do here is I just, it's at hot pink now, and I'm hot pink. This is light pink. It's at the darker part, and I'm going to continue the darker part, and then it'll end with the light in the center. So I think visually that'll be more appealing, and that's why I'm trying it this way, because I've tried it both ways now. So I know what it looks like, and I kind of like this look a little bit more. It's just a little bit of a nuisance to pull from the outside because then you have to kind of keep like yanking on the yarn. But yeah. So the plan once I finish this video and having a chat with you is to go through my yarn again and update my yarn inventory. I think I was down to like 180. I was definitely down to 180. So probably maybe 175 and 175 balls or cakes of yarn. I don't have any hanks of yarn. But I just kind of want to sort things out and keep things nicely so that when my new yarn comes later this week or next week, then I'm not kind of scrambling to find space or scrambling to then do like a full inventory again. Then I can just kind of add those new things to my spreadsheet. So I've just made a very, very basic spreadsheet. It's nothing fancy. It's just everything is labeled by brand name and then the name of the yarn and then the color of the yarn. I even have a column for, I don't know what I called it, but it's like status, meaning like if it's like a full ball of yarn or if it's like a half ball of yarn, because there's some where I just have like a half ball of yarn, so I just wanted to know that. So I'm not thinking like, oh, I have 6 balls of white yarn, but no, I only have, 4 balls of white yarn and then I have like 2 half balls. So that's just helpful for me. And then I have like a quantity after that. And then I just have a grand total. So I did have a spreadsheet before where I did a grand total by brand of yarn, but now I don't think that's really necessary. So for me, it's just knowing I can go like in my list, I can go, okay, line brand, okay, mandala gradient, okay, this color, soft pink, and I have 2 of them left. So it just helps me. And I don't think I'm going to delete rows as those yarns get used up. I want to keep them so that I can know what I've used. And I'm going to try really hard this year to keep track of this yarn inventory. I feel like it is very helpful when planning projects, especially now after my sale when I was like, okay, so now I want to make hats for the cancer patients. What can I use? And I realized I don't have much bulky weight yarn. I have used worsted weight yarn, but I just find the bulky weight yarn, it works up much, much quicker. Last summer, so last July, August, excuse me, last July, August, I made a whole bunch of my fresh air hat pattern. That is a pattern that is on my channel, and I also have a written pattern for it on my Ravelry. All those links are down below, and you can find the tutorial in my tutorials playlist. That should be there. And so that was made with a worsted weight yarn. And I really got into a groove where I memorized the pattern. Of course, it's my own pattern, but you know what I mean. When you start working on one project and you just make like 10 of them, then you get to know the pattern and you've kind of memorized it. So in that regard, those ones turned out very, very well. I made them with Hirschner's Sweet Swirls yarn, which I absolutely love. I think I bought it in 3 different colors. And I still have some of that. So I definitely could make my own pattern, that fresh air hat pattern, and just make hats with worsted weight. I just sort of prefer to use a bulky weight because of the fact that it's usually really cold in the hospital and I kind of want to give something warm. So that's just my personal preference. But of course, I have so much worsted weight yarn. That's the bulk of my stash is worsted weight yarn. So I can use the worsted weight yarn. It just takes a little bit longer. These burnout blanket yarn hats that I showed you in the very beginning. So I was able to make one in about 30 to 45 minutes. Now, if I was making a hat with worsted weight yarn, I feel like it would take me longer than that. It might take me closer to an hour plus. So it's just a matter of preference. I mean, sometimes I really like working with a thicker yarn. Sometimes I'm just fine with a worsted weight yarn. So it just depends. And there's no rhyme or reason. It's just whatever I feel like doing. So, or wherever I can find a good deal on. I really did like the Karen, what are they called? Karen spice cakes, I think. I really did like those, and I had bought some from Michael's last year, and I did use those for the hats. That was a number 5 weight, and I think I used an L8mm hook with them. They turned out really, really good. Hirschner's did have that on their website, but they only had one colorway. It was like this purple pink color, so I didn't buy it. But if I do go to Michael's again anytime soon, I'll see if they have that. But they honestly keep changing what they have on display in the middle of the aisleway. So I'm pretty sure my Michael's is decreasing the amount of yarn that they have in store, which is very sad. I have to say I am sad that Joann's is closing, because that was like my weekly trip. I would go every week. I would walk around. I would see what's new. I would touch the colors. I would be inspired. And now that whole experience is just going to be wiped out. So I do have a Michael's that's kind of close to me, and a Hobby Lobby. And then, of course, I just bought all this yarn on Hirschner's, because I've ordered from Hirschner's before many times, and I've always been very happy with the products. I've always been very happy with the shipping, and I haven't had any problems so far. So I don't mind buying through there, but I really miss that in-store experience that I had. So yeah. Okay. Let me show you how far I've gotten, and let me show you what's happening with the colors. So I did start on the second ball. Let me just take some yarn out so it's not stuck. Okay, so I did start on the second ball, so you can see that pink is still very much there, and I just finished one row, I think, and it looks really nice. I like it. What do you think? I like it. So this is, of course, my car project, and now I will be back to working on finishing the scrap blanket yarn hats that I am making. And then I will be starting a mandala soon. I need to round up some colors for that, and I need to figure out which pattern I want to make, and then get started. I am super, super excited. And yeah, just lots of fun things happening on the channel. I will keep sharing my progress. Watch out for my posts. I'm always posting things. So there's a section on my channel, or that you'll see on YouTube, called posts, and that's where people just can share pictures of behind the scenes and just share some, kind of have a conversation with you without it being a full video. So watch out for those. I try to be active on there so that you can keep seeing me in your feed and you don't forget about me, because I don't forget about you either. I really love being a part of this community, and just absolutely love crocheting and yarn and everything that comes along with it. So yes, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I hope you have a wonderful crochetful day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.